Hello, I'm Robert, and you're welcome here in my busy little shop. On today's episode of What's on My Workbench, it's belts. I've got a passel of belts here that I'm working on. There's 5 of them. I guess more appropriate would probably be a bundle of belts. And some of them you've seen before. This one here is the Diamondback, and it's in golden brown. I think it's really a pretty belt, and I'll get back to this end here in just a little bit here. But I've got... I guess I have a total of 5 belts that are right now in the process. 2 of them I just dip dyed, so I'm gonna let those dry. I'll come back when we're putting in some resin on those, but they're a little bit unique. Typically, I've left this end part here where the adjustment holes is blank, and someone asked me not long ago why I did it that way, and I think it's just kind of a progression of how I got to that point. In other words, I started off doing a lot of stitches down the center here, and I didn't want to necessarily run into those up here, so I figured how I like to center the pattern, and I do like it that way. But I had recently someone ask why I didn't go all the way out here to the end, and I think it's just a progression of how I've started and got to that point. But 2 of the belts over here are the first 2 belts I've ever made in this color. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then one of them I've made the pattern, but I've on these belts up there, I've taken that pattern all the way to the tip because they're for a couple of young ladies at rodeo. And when they're wearing their chaps, I was concerned because you would actually be covering up the majority of the tooling that I would do on them. So I tooled those all the way to the end. So enough of a ramp up here at the beginning. Let's get over here on the workbench. I'll get started, and I'll bring you along at different points on these 5 belts that I'm working on and let you see what I've got on the workbench. I do appreciate you taking time to be with you today. Yeah, this is the Diamondback. I need to make one for myself. I keep saying that, and I'm torn. I don't want to just take a bunch of belts out of inventory for myself, but the blue Diamondback, which looks like kind of a similar color as to a jeans. Maybe it's not similar, but it sure looks good with jeans. I've thought about that, but I really like this color here, the golden brown. So I guess I could do golden brown. I know, I could make a belt of every design and put it in the rack for myself, but that seems kind of wasteful because there's only so many belts that I can wear. So yeah, I have to decide, should I do the blue one or do one of these? I do have a belt that's in this color, and it's the Teton belt. I did a series of belts for a group that were going to the Tetons. Shoot, that's been, I think, 3 years ago. And everybody that went on the trip got one of these belts, all made to their size, and it had tooled into it the prominent peaks there in the Tetons. So maybe I should do a blue one. Anyway, I'm going to finish up stitching this belt here. I've got probably another 20 minutes. I'll have this stitched up, and I'll come back when I'm ready to put the resist on those 2 rodeo belts, and we'll take a look at that color and see how it looks. So I'll be right back. So today I'm going to be using tan coat as a resist on these 2 belts. This is the dark chocolate brown. Browns can have lots of different tones to it. This doesn't have a red tone, which is like most of the browns I've used. But this is the color that my client picked. And I'm going to use the tan coat as a resist, like I said. Look, I know there's people who are like, you should be using Pro Resist. That's what it's designed for. But the local representative for the company told me that tan coat works perfectly fine as a resist. So that's why I'm using it today. I'm going to put this on here. We'll let this sit and dry because I'm going to be using an antique on this belt to help the tooling stand out a little bit more against this dark color. I figured I better put some on the back. If I get antique paste on the back, it may stain that. It is the back of the belt, but I like the backs of my belts to look nice as well. So this is a hand-cut basket weave, just like I use on the journal covers. And this is the Oregon Trail is what I ended up naming this one. I've probably referred to it as a couple of things, but I think Oregon Trail is a good name for it. All right, so I think I've got it pretty well. I'll hang this up and let this dry. I'll be using black antiquing on here to highlight the tool design on both of these. And I think I said earlier, it's the first time I've ever made a basket weave belt. I've done some samples, but never a complete belt with the basket weave. So I'll hang this up, let this dry, probably for 6 or 8 hours, and then we'll come back and do the antiquing on that. So I'm working along here. I have this belt finished. This is the golden diamondback. It's got a matte nickel buckle on it. Black thread. I think it turned out really nice. I need to put my maker's mark on it yet, but other than that, this belt here is ready to ship. This is headed to Georgia. So I'm in the process of finishing up these two belts here. These I refer to as the Appalachia Trail. I was trying to come up with a name for them when I first started making them. And then my brother decided to hike the Appalachia Trail. He's hiking northbound. And it starts in Georgia and ends in Maine, if you can believe it. And as part of that process, he's trying to raise awareness and money for an organization called Tunnel to Towers. And Tunnel to Towers was founded after 9/11 in honor of one of the firefighters who died that day in one of the towers. And so my brother's hiking northbound on that. And I'll put a link in my video description as well as probably the title. And if you're interested at all in what he has to say, I'll put 2 links. In the description, I'll put a link to his first video, and it kind of describes why he's doing what he's doing. But my brother was a volunteer firefighter, and this is, his way of giving back. So anyway, these 2 belts are for people that have seen in one of my previous videos. And I'm trying to help promote and support Tom's effort on that trail. And anybody that buys one of these belts, well, actually, anybody that reaches out to me and says they want to support Tom, if you'll buy one of my belts, I will donate 100% of that sales price, not the profit, 100% of the sales price to his effort there. And the company that I retired from will actually match that. So it'll take the money that you would pay for one of these belts and double that money there. And I'll make a belt the way you want it and send it to you. If you want one of the Appalachia Trail belts, I'll do that. But as one of the other gentlemen ordered a belt, that golden diamondback that I showed you a little while ago, that belt is part of it as well. So anyway, it's a way for you to, get, I think, a quality handmade belt, and Tom gets a little bit of support there. And I said I would do this for up to 20 belts. My goal is a minimum of 10. When I finish the orders I currently have, I'll be at 9. So I'm almost to my minimum order. And I hope I get to my max, which is 20 belts. And with the donations matched by Sherwin-Williams, it will equal in excess of $6,000. So that's pretty nice to be able to do that and to help support him. So I'm going to finish up this keeper here. I need to mount the buckles and all. I'm trying to get done to ship this out today. So I got to finish here in the next little bit. But let me take you over here. I want to show you one of the two belts. Well, I'll show you both of them, but the belts that I started earlier in the video and you saw me putting the resist on, I went ahead after the resist had dried. I put the antique paste and I used black to help highlight those because the belt's kind of dark, and I thought maybe it would help to highlight the tooling pattern. Let me move you over so that you can see those, and I'll come back and finish this up here in just a moment. It's kind of hard to see the color in this lighting here. It's a very dark brown, and I've highlighted the tooling with black antiquing. I think it looks good. I have the edges yet to do, but this one's completely stitched. And so all I need to do now is to do my edge work on here. Obviously I have to make a keeper, but I'll do the edge work on here, and then I will seal this up with some resin. I like resin on these dark belts because to me it'll really help highlight the tooling. But there it is there. This is the hand cut basket weave design here, much like I did on journals. I think I may have already said that. Apologize if I'm repeating myself, but these belts are for two sisters, and I'm just about finished. I need to probably spend more time on those other two because I need to leave to get those shipped, and these I don't have due until probably 2 days from now. So yeah, why am I working on this? Well, I wanted to brag a little bit and show you these patterns. Let me go back over here. I'm going to finish up those two Appalachia Trail belts, and then I'll come back when I have the hardware mounted on those and show you what that looks like. And if I don't wrap up the video today, maybe tomorrow when I finish these two belts, I'll show you what they look like. But they're not going to have any hardware on them. They have rodeo buckles that they're going to utilize on these belts. So I'll be back here in just a little bit, and I'll do a little bit of a wrap up on where we're at there. I tell you what, I know I'm bragging about my own belts here, but I think these two belts turned out really nice. One of these is headed to Georgia. The other one to the Denver area here in Colorado. I think turned out really nice. I've got one belt I can't show you because it may spoil surprise, and then you saw the golden brown diamondback. So I need to get them packaged up. Got my little cloth bags here for them, and we'll get these packaged up, and I am rushing to try to get out of here, get to the post office before it closes today. Somewhat of a self-imposed deadline, but trying to get several things done in one trip to town. So I'm going to hold this video over, and I will bring you back tomorrow, and I'll show you the finish of those other two belts. So hang loose. For you, it'll just be a moment. All right, so these two belts are finished. We're going to take a quick look at this, but I thought I would share. I received a package here, a little envelope. I haven't opened it yet. I'd like to thank the Postal Service. I don't know how long it took to get to me. I have a feeling it's been on the road for quite some time. But I just received it, so we're going to open it up and take a look here, what I've got. It's from a viewer and fellow YouTube creator out of Canada, and he sent this to me. Let's see what we've got. Oh yeah, I got me some stickers. Look at that. Who knows what this sticker is for? And he's got this nice little card here. I tell you what, these guys keep up in the game. Do I have to come out with one? But it says, check us out, Open Air Adventure. It's Kenny, and he is in the far northeast of Canada. And thanks for being a channel fan. So he's got a little card here, and then he's got his sticker. So I'll have to find the right place for it. I'll probably put it on my toolbox that travels back and forth. I've got 2 shops, I'm sure you guys know that, but I've got a large toolbox there. It has lots of stickers on it, but I think with this one, I'll put it on my toolbox that travels back and forth. So I really want to thank Kenny and really the whole YouTube community that really helps and supports creators like me. I appreciate the comments. That's what helps keep me going. Let's get over here and take a quick look at these belts here. All right, so here we are. These are the 2 belts that I created. These are for sisters. The color here is the Phoebe's dark chocolate. And these are the first belts. I tested a little bit of the dark chocolate, you know, and I didn't see it all the way through. In other words, I just had tested it and didn't put clears on it. But when I first looked at it, I wasn't a fan of the color. But this is a really nice brown. It doesn't have red in it. And yeah, so I've got these 2 tool belts. This is the first basket weave, hand-cut basket weave stamp belt that I've ever made. And then this is a pattern you guys have seen here a few times. I think it really turned out nice. Well, there you go. Just a short video today. Quite a few belts in the works, and actually I have another one hanging on the rack there waiting to dry and to put clear finish on it. It's a double classic, so it has 2 rows of stitching all the way around the classic belt. But I tell you what, I think these belts came out really beautiful, and I'll be excited to get feedback from the rodeo sisters that the belts are for. And then I'm working on another one of these. Now, you've seen me work on the journal covers before. Maybe I'll put a photo here just on the community page, but this one here, they want it in natural, but they want the turquoise antiquing on natural, and I've never done that before. I've always placed it on black. Sometimes we get I think in the habit of, I guess in some ways, controlling what we put out by what we think looks right, but I think it's going to look really nice. So I'll get that done, and I'll share those photos down the road here. Anyway, I appreciate you taking time to be with the shop today. Please like, share, and subscribe, but more importantly, I hope you have a great day.